Feeling like a failure? Like everything you touch crumbles to dust? This is Marcus's story, a baker who lost it all. But what happens when the scent of warm bread calls him back? Discover how a single loaf can reignite a lost passion and prove that failure isn't the end, but a chance to rise again. Marcus sat staring at the spreadsheet, the numbers blurring into meaningless shapes. The office hummed around him. A world away from the warm, yeasty mornings he remembered. 6 months ago, he was a baker, the heart and soul of the Rising Sun Bakery. But now, those dreams felt like distant memories. His bakery, the Rising Sun, had crumbled under debt and self-doubt, leaving him adrift. Now, anxiety was his constant companion, a heavy weight pressing down on him. What was he without the bakery? Just a data entry clerk lost in a sea of numbers. Every day felt like a quiet defeat, a replay of his fears. The office was a constant reminder of what he had lost. He struggled to find purpose in the endless rows of numbers, longing for the warmth of the oven and the smell of baking bread. One grey afternoon, a co-worker's birthday brought a store-bought sheet cake into the office. It was sweet and artificial, and Marcus felt a sharp pang of loss. The cake was supposed to bring joy, but to him, it felt hollow. He remembered the joy he used to bring with his fresh bread, his way of connecting with people and saying, "I care." That part of him, the baker, felt like it had died, leaving only emptiness behind. That night, sleep eluded him. The question echoed in his mind, "Who am I without the bakery? Am I just a failure?" He tossed and turned, the anxiety buzzing in his ears, a relentless tormentor. Driven by a sudden impulse, Marcus found himself in his small kitchen, staring at a bag of flour. The familiar weight in his hands was comforting, a lifeline in the darkness. He scooped the flour into a bowl, added water and yeast, and began to mix. His hands moved instinctively, remembering every fold and knead, the rhythm his mind had tried to forget. The dough came alive beneath his fingers, soft and resilient. Kneading grounded him, carrying him away from the sterile office and the crushing weight of failure. Hours later, the aroma of warm bread filled his apartment, a small miracle rising from the oven. The comforting scent chased away the shadows of doubt and fear. The next morning, with a flutter of hope, Marcus wrapped the rustic loaf and took it to the office. He didn't know why, but he felt compelled to share it. He left it quietly on the break room table, a silent offering amidst the cold, fluorescent lights and tapping keyboards. Would anyone even notice? By noon, the loaf was gone. He almost didn't dare to hope. Maybe someone had just thrown it away, thinking it was unwanted. Then a soft voice interrupted his work. It was a co-worker, someone he barely knew, standing hesitantly beside his desk. "Was that your bread?" she asked, eyes bright with surprise and delight. "It was incredible. It made my whole morning." Marcus could barely believe it. Her words weren't a solution to his debts, but they were a lifeline. It didn't reopen his store or erase the months of doubt, but something inside him cracked. The hard shell of anxiety that had wrapped itself around his heart began to loosen. Just a little. He realized then that he was not his business. His identity was more than just a baker. It was about what he could create. The bakery had failed, yes, but he was still Marcus, the hands that could create something good, the heart that could bring a moment of joy. Failure had not broken him. It had simply made him stumble. He was still standing, still breathing, still capable of creation. The next day, he brought another loaf to the office, and then another. People started looking forward to it. He started experimenting with new recipes, finding joy in the process once again. Baking was becoming more than just a memory. It was a part of his present. One day, his co-worker asked, "Have you ever thought about starting up again?" He hadn't, not really. It seemed too daunting. But the seed had been planted. The thought of the rising sun rising again flickered in his mind. He started small, selling loaves at a local farmer's market. The familiar faces and grateful smiles fueled his spirit. He learned from his past mistakes, approached his business with more caution and more wisdom. And maybe, just maybe, the second loaf was the start of a new rise. A rise not just for his bakery, but for himself. He smiled, a genuine, heartfelt smile that reached his eyes. The fear hadn't disappeared entirely, but it no longer controlled him. Marcus knew the journey wouldn't be easy, but he was ready. He was a baker, a creator, and most importantly, himself.